Hello, one and all. This is NEX News. I'm your host, Jorden Zertuche. Today, we are going to be talking about Commonwealth versus Peterson on this special segment of Business NEX. By the way, our word of the day is pterodactyl for those that were actually caring about that. But I digress. We are joined by our hosts, Mitchell and James. First off, we're going to have James talk about some of the facts of the case, and then I will lead a quick little tiny segment over to our boy Mitchell, who will go over the entirety of the case and give the outcome. Take it away, James.
On the morning of April 16, 2007, police at Virginia Tech discovered 2 gunshot victims in one of the campus dormitories. The police informed the president of Virginia Tech that 2 students had been shot. The shootings appeared targeted and likely domestic in nature, and that the shooter had likely left campus. An email was sent to the student body informing them of the shooting that morning. Approximately 30 minutes after the email was sent, a second mass shooting began on another part of campus. The police identified the shooter and connected DNA evidence and the murder weapon with the earlier shooting. The administrators of the estates of Aaron Peterson and Julia Pride, 2 of the murder victims from the second shooting, filed wrongful death suits against the shooter's estate. The Commonwealth and various Virginia Tech officials, after the consolidation of cases and several motions, the Commonwealth was left as the sole defendant. The Commonwealth argued it did not have a special relationship with the Peterson and Pride, and 2, even assuming arguendo that there was a special relationship, there was no duty to warn of third-party criminal acts. The circuit court found that a special relationship did exist and the Commonwealth failed to warn the students of a shooter on campus. The Commonwealth appealed.
Thanks, James. Now to Mitchell with the entirety of the case and the outcome, explaining what happened and what the court ruled.
This is the case of Commonwealth versus Peterson. This case was started in the Supreme Court of Virginia in 2013. The plaintiff is Peterson and the defendant is Commonwealth, which is the state of Virginia. The plaintiffs are 2 individuals that were murdered at the Virginia Tech mass shooting. There was a gunman on the Virginia Tech campus that opened fire and killed a few individuals. 2 of the individuals that were killed brought a suit against the state of Virginia and against Virginia Tech University, claiming that Virginia Tech University had a duty to warn the students on campus about the gunman. There's an event that transpired prior to the mass shooting, which was in a dormitory, which looks like a domestic shooting according to police officers. 1 individual was shot and another one was wounded, and the officers could not find the suspect. This was early in the morning and there was a bunch of blood. But what was about to transpire was a much larger mass shooting. The police and the institution didn't know, didn't believe, and didn't foresee that a mass shooting was going to take place, so they didn't warn the rest of the students on campus. What the plaintiffs in this case are trying to declare is that Virginia Tech knew someone had been shot on campus, and they had a duty to warn all the students on campus about the gunman. The courthouse decision left people shook. The courthouse analyzed the staff of Virginia Tech University and came to the conclusion that there was no duty to warn the students on campus. They also said they were going to let the plaintiffs recover from the state through institution. The reason for this is because the court relies heavily upon a document that says there's no duty to warn a third party if you don't know danger is coming. That's not a duty that the law of torts is going to prescribe a lot. So when it does, there has to be a special relationship between the defendant and plaintiff. The court says we're going to assume that a special relationship exists here. Because there's a special relationship between the students and the institution of Virginia Tech, there would be a duty to warn for the foreseeable harm. What the court says is that the argument of the plaintiff fails because the harm wasn't foreseeable by the university. They just believe what the police officers and the detective thought, which was it was a domestic violence shooting. It wasn't a mass shooting. It wasn't a precursor to a mass shooting. So the court says it wasn't foreseeable by the university that a mass shooting was going to occur. Therefore, even if there was a duty because of a special relationship, that duty wasn't full because you only have a duty to warn, and even with the special relationship of foreseeable harm to foreseeable plaintiffs. So the court ruled in favor of Virginia Tech and the state of Virginia, and that's the case.
And that'll wrap it up. Thanks, Mitchell. We hope you guys have a great day today. And stay savvy, you fellow business peeps.